it's I think it was thunder. It's a lot going on outside.
And I know, like it just started raining, like out of nowhere. I think what was it yesterday? It just seemed like it all fell at once, and then it
That's
just went
right.
away.
Yeah, yep, and it's back. And it's just making all kinds of strange noises. So, like, is there somebody? What's going on out there?
Hello, everybody. We're gonna start in about 8 minutes. Just logging on early so I get everything set up. So, if you already have questions, you can go ahead and start typing them in. But we're not starting until 12 p.m. noon.
Anthony,
Yes, ma'am.
uh, there's uh, something came up, and that person doesn't have a functioning video. Does
Oh,
that work?
yeah. They can log in. Just voice. That's fine.
And can join for 30 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
It is always one thing that doesn't go right.
What's not going right?
No, it's just trying to go live. All right, there we go. Trying to go live on Facebook. Let's see. Um,
I've never tried that technology.
yeah, we've done a few things online. I think tomorrow we're overdue for a gaming stream, so we're gonna do that probably tomorrow with some young people. Last time we did Fortnite, and
That'll be fun.
we had so much fun. I think we kept coming in first place. Out of Yeah, so it was fun.
Did you hear about, read, or see that Travis Scott dropped a song? It wasn't his album. He dropped a record. Maybe with Drake in Fortnite. It was awesome. It
I
was
didn't see that.
brilliant. Oh, it was brilliant. Brilliant marketing. There are like
Really?
something like 12 million people or something in the game. It was crazy. It was insane.
Wow.
Just just total genius. Yeah.
Yeah. Drake. I like Drake as a lyricist, and I like Travis Scott as an artist. He's pretty good.
Well, uh, whether you love him or hate him, or from a marketing standpoint, that was just the bomb.com. That's what people are doing, right? They're at home.
Uh-huh.
They're gaming,
That's so awesome.
TikToking. I don't know.
I haven't done TikTok yet. I haven't done some. some of my team wants to do it, but I haven't done it yet. So I'm curious.
Well, I have a teenage girl and a teenage boy. They're twins. They're 15. So I have one on TikTok and one on Xbox all the time, which
Wait,
is
you
making
have
me
twins?
crazy.
You have twins?
Yes,
That's awesome.
yeah, I do. I do. So my daughter's always on TikTok, and she's going to teach me a dance, and we're going to record it and I'm going to post it.
Oh, I'm so gonna watch that. That is. You should
Oh my
you should
God.
get Monica to do the dance. So now that she's on, get Monica to do the dance.
Monica, oh my gosh. I'm not sure I'm going to convince Monica to do that one, but I'll try. I'll definitely try.
Get her
Yeah,
scholarship
I'm
peer
going.
pressure.
That's so funny. Okay, what dance are we talking about here?
Yeah, we're learning. I told my daughter she's going to teach me a TikTok dance. And so Anthony thinks you ought to learn it too. And then record it, and then we can all do it.
Can I just tell you, I would love to learn how to TikTok. But I can't dance to save my life, which was really interesting because I was a cheerleader and I was in the drill team. But you think I have any of those skills carried forward? Negative. Au contraire.
Oh,
Not
well,
quite.
I'm going to learn one, Monica. And you know, we're going to have to include you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So remind me on the 3rd of February to show up. I'll be there.
I've never heard that before. Not the third of
February.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
3rd of February. Thank you so much. Before anybody joins, Anthony, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having, Darlene. I'm just going to sit quietly in the background and continue working. I just want to listen in.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that y'all was able to come on.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, just pretend I'm not here.
Nope.
Right. It's like when Mama says, "Pretend I'm not here."
Hey, Demetrius, thank you for joining us. I see you. You're posting the chat. Uh-oh. Oh, we have Casa on. And hey, D'Angelo. Oh, don't forget, D'Angelo, your team. Is on the move doing trying to put together their presentation for Elevated Minds. So, and we have
Anthony,
Casa. Yes.
how does one join by phone?
It should have been in the invite that he received. It should have been telephone numbers towards the in the middle of the email.
Thank you.
All right, it is 12 o'clock. Actually, 12:01, and it's time to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, all of our college students will be joining us, and thank you for all those who are already on and adult supporters. We really appreciate you, appreciate your support. As you know, since we have been on lockdown or self quarantine. Or somebody, as I always say, since the world blew up, we've been trying to make sure that everybody is able to stay in contact, get as much information as they can. We try to make sure they have all the resources, as well as we try to make sure that we're having fun. So we've been doing a lot of streaming from our first podcast with Candace, talking about the resources that they're providing to Amera Group. And we started doing our Through Our Eyes series, interviewing young people in care or who were in care, talking about their experiences, what helped them, and things like that. So I think last week we had the chance to speak to Felicia Curtis, and that was a very interesting conversation. And I'm glad she dropped a lot of knowledge on us, talking about her experience in foster care and how fast money isn't always good money. So I learned so much, and we're still having conversations about that via text or what have you. Today, we are talking to the legendary NSORO. Miss Darlene Trigg is on. We want to make sure that that we are helping those young people who are in college and making sure they know about their resources while they're in college, know about the monies that colleges are receiving. And I want to say there are federal funds that colleges are receiving, and how those funds are supposed to be given to the students. So ask your questions. If you don't ask, we don't know how to answer. So without further ado, I would like for Miss Darlene to introduce herself. And I guess tell a little bit about what NSORO is doing for their scholars.
First of all, I want to thank you, Anthony, for having me. It's a great opportunity to continue to spread the message of resources that are available. So while NSORO is an organization that raises money to provide post-secondary scholarships for youth in foster care and youth aging out of foster care, we were just really, how shall I say, just really concerned about our population. We have 268 scholars across 31 states. And when all of as you said, the world blew up, or however things happened, or whatever happened, right? The pandemic, our executive director, Monica, just said, look, we've got to pivot what we're doing, and we need to focus on our young people, because our young people, they need support in terms of housing and food insecurity. We need to work on this. And so we did a pivot and really rolled our sleeves up, reached out, sent emails to our scholars across the country, and asked them what they needed. And in asking what they needed, we found and learned, we learned a lot, and we'll talk about those. I have a lot of stories to share, and just the wonderful, wonderful things that our young people are doing, and how positive they are, and how resilient they are. And our students are filled with greatness rising in time. And
I like
that's
that.
one of the things. It's true. It's true. And so in this opportunity to connect with our young people, we learned so much along the way in terms of resources. So what we're doing is we are deploying dollars to pay rent, to help with rent, and provide gift cards for food. But we also really think of ourselves as an organization that goes beyond just our mission, and we become a resource to our young people. So one of the resources that we learned about fairly early on was money from the CARES Act, CARES, the $2.2 trillion that the government, I'm going to come back and speak to that. The $2.2 billion that the coronavirus, will you go back to the email, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, sir. And I don't have to think about what that CARES stands for. Coronavirus aid. My cheat sheet.
Listen, we understand, because we speak nothing but acronyms around here. So the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. See, I wouldn't be able to remember that either, so don't worry about it.
CARES is just so much easier to say, right?
Yeah.
It's just so.
Yeah, and honestly, until you sent me this, I didn't know that CARES was an acronym. So,
It's all good. It's
yeah.
all good. We're in this thing together, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we did was we crafted an email, and well, let me actually step back. So before, but leave this up on the screen, pretty please.
Uh-huh.
So the first email that went out was just, we're here for you. We care about you. Let us know what your needs are. We received emails, we received text messages, and thus the opportunity to speak to our scholars across the country and actually hear what they were going through.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was able to personally say, do you know about the CARES Act? Have you heard anything about how your institution is leaning into and helping students that are receiving financial aid? Most everyone that I spoke to had not heard about the CARES Act and what it meant to them. So what the CARES Act means to students who are Title IV students, which are students on financial aid, are receiving financial aid, what it means to them is that colleges and universities were among the many institutions that received funds from the government because of the coronavirus. And in some cases, there are schools that received tens of thousands of dollars, and there are some schools that received tens of millions of dollars. Georgia State is an example of a university that did a really good job communicating the money that they received, how much they received, and how they were going to distribute it. So Georgia State received a little over $45 million, and they had to distribute, I know, $45 million.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And they had to distribute in emergency grants to financial aid students, almost $23 million. But they actually did a really good job communicating it and getting money to students. But that wasn't the case everywhere. Some schools, once again, from coast to coast, some schools in California, I heard, did a really good job. Some schools in New York. Some universities didn't tell students at all. I spoke to a student yesterday who received this email. He and I had never spoken before, but he received this email. And because of this email, he knew to ask his financial aid office about it and ended up receiving $800. So I was, this email landed not on deaf ears, right? It's an actionable email.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'll go to the next screen, we can come back to this email, but if you'll go to the next screen.
This one?
Yes, sir. This is the first link that's in that email, and this is a searchable database. Mm-hmm. So students can enter the name of their institution. Will you give us an example, sir, please?
Yeah. Somebody give us an example. Somebody type it in. I'm going to go to Georgia Tech because.
Okay.
All right. So Georgia Tech, they received $10 million, or well, a little over $10 million.
Right.
And so, make sure that I'm reading this right, because so they were allocated $10 million, and then the minimum that they're supposed to that the students are supposed to be receiving are $5 million, correct?
Yeah.
A little over.
Over.
Yeah, and I did not. Let me look at my college that I went. All right, so DeVry received $4.7 million, and they're supposed to give $2.3 to their students.
Yes. Yes.
And so, like, honestly, like, until you told me about this, like, I had heard about it, because I think I was listening to the news and I heard the whole Harvard thing, how they had all of a sudden told their students that they need to leave, like, without any warning and things like that. And then I also heard about how those colleges receive, like, ridiculous amounts of money, and their students were struggling trying to manage or trying to find housing and trying to find food and things like that. And I did not know just the extent of how much money they were receiving. Somebody
Yes.
said, type in Strayer U. So here you go. Strayer University received 5.7 million, and the students are supposed to get 2.8. So there you have it.
There you have it.
And with all of this, as somebody said, type in Albany State. So with all of this, so the purpose for these podcasts and trainings and even our webinars is to give you tools that you can use even when the podcast is over or when the webinar is over. So this is an actual website. Like, this is public information, correct, Ms. Darlene?
Yes, of course. Of course. It's definitely public information. I don't know how you can, I know what you can do. So when you go to the top of this email or the top of this page.
Yes.
Because then you can probably, I was thinking maybe you could see the link, or maybe people can Google.
Here's what I'll do. I'll actually paste it into the chat so that everybody could go to it.
Okay. And yeah, as a matter of fact, the story speaks to more of what where the money came from, what it's to be used for. It's to be used for housing, transportation, and food insecurity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because so say for instance, like I know a few students that are at and maybe our guest Valentino could talk a little bit more about this, but I know that I've had a few students that were kind of stuck at school, and I think some of them were ones that you helped, but they didn't have money for food and things like and they couldn't go anywhere because at that point in time MARTA and stuff was shut down and nobody was helping them. And so how I'm a student, Corona hit, and I can't do anything. I don't have any money. I can't work because all the jobs are shut down. Who do I talk to at the school? How do I start that conversation?
Are you asking Valentino?
I'm asking. Yeah, I want to ask Valentino because Valentino, were you able to take advantage of that?
Can you unmute him? I think he's having issues with the mic.
Okay, I did.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Valentino?
Hey.
There you are.
That's so funny. How are you guys?
We are doing well. We are. Right now, my mind is being blown, and because I'm being educated with all of this information. So
right.
So
okay. I definitely was listening. I heard a lot of what you said. What can students do as it relates to them being able to receive assistance from their school or the government's assistance? So I just want to give you a quick synopsis of who I am. My name is Valentino. I graduated Syracuse University last spring. I have a degree in political science. I'm in the midst of essentially working at a law firm right now on a rotating basis to limit like social distancing and whatnot. But my goal right now is to gain legal exposure. And I'm currently taking virtual classes at Miami-Dade College right now in the interim until I go to law school next fall. So when I was at school, to answer your question, when I was at school, one of the first tools we have at our disposal as students is the student administration. I think they regularly sent out emails to keep us abreast of the different policies and tools we could use on campus. But unfortunately, given I wasn't there, I wasn't necessarily on the receiving end of it this year, given I graduated last fall. However, I did speak to a few friends of mine, and there were basically three camps. There were kids who didn't even know they could get the funds. There was my friend who I went biking with, actually, I think last weekend, who said he got money but didn't know the range of money he could get, like he can get assistance-wise. And then there was another friend of mine who got more than that middle kid, like $2,000 to $3,000 more than that other kid. So so it was interesting to see those, I guess, discrepancies. And I don't know if the university was actively, you know, informing students of how, as you said, they were going to distribute it like Georgia State did. But based on the discrepancies between these specific 3 students' receipt of funds during the coronavirus, I don't think my university did a good job at necessarily informing them on how to like get assistance for like transportation, food insecurity, and so forth.
Yeah, and I understand like it's one thing to have all the funds, but it's totally pointless if your students or the people that's supposed to be receiving it don't know about it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And even
Yes.
so I'm taking virtual classes. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go on, Valentina.
I was saying I'm taking, and interestingly, I'm taking so I aged out of the system. So that basically in Florida, I can go to any public academic institution up until the age of 27 or 28, to my recollection. And so that's why I'm able to take these virtual classes for free. But based on the emails I've been seeing, I think the institution I'm at right now minimally made gestures to like teach or let students know how to get like assistance. But for the most part, I don't even know. I just think there's like a large swath of universities that neglected developing like a framework to like assist us during these uncertain times. But I'm technically in virtual college, but how else will you communicate with your students if it's not virtually?
Right.
You know, so exactly. So that I don't know. I don't want to bash anybody, but I'm just curious to see their respective responses to, you know, the novel coronavirus.
You was giving a rebuttal. You was giving a rebuttal. You wasn't bashing.
Okay, I'm making sure. I don't want to get body slammed remotely.
Those are your opening statements.
No, I would definitely have to agree with Valentino. From having conversations with youth coast to coast, some institutions did a great job of communicating. Other institutions did not do such a great job. I've spoken to a student who sadly received almost $100. She spoke to someone who received $1,000, and she said that this young man told her that he was going to buy an iPhone and put the rest in the stock market. That broke her heart.
Right.
That's
right.
Wow.
That broke my heart. I've spoken to a student that received $1,000, another student that received $5,000. So it's all over the place. But it's out here. And so I think, you know, knowledge is power. And so what I said to our students was, now that you know this information, I need you to reach out to your financial aid office. And I need you to make an inquiry about these federal funds. What I saw I saw this in a few colleges. There were emails that went out that said the president of the university has emergency funds available and you can apply one time. And I said, that is definitely different. And I had the opportunity to go to links that students sent to me to actually see what it was. And these were typically funds that were being privately raised. These were not these federal dollars. So they weren't speaking to them about the federal money that came in. On those 2 or 3 campuses that I talked to students, they were speaking about money that the president was raising or had raised or in the endowment or, you know, however that money was coming in, but it wasn't the federal dollars. So that's why I said very specific and ask about the CARES Act money, because those are federal dollars and they have to disseminate those dollars to students.
And I don't know if this is public information, but do we know how is there a way for students to be able to check to see how much the university has spent? So say for instance, I went to Morehouse, since this is the one that's up here. I see that this is how much the minimum allocation awarded to students. I see this how much is supposed to be awarded. Is there a way that universities and colleges are supposed to be showing how much they've already spent on students, or is that
That's a great
or do we?
question. I don't know the answer to that. That's a great
Okay.
question. I don't know. You would
'Cause
hope there's some
I would like to
amount of
see
accountability. I'd like to see that too.
that. I'm
I'd love
looking.
to see that. I don't know if I'll see that. I
So
don't know.
I'm looking for more questions. So yeah, so I am that student. I need to go to my financial aid and ask for assistance, but specifically say the federal emergency stimulus funding
Yes.
from the CARES Act.
Yes, and then because this is a searchable database, you can actually say, you know, I know my institution received X millions of dollars, and I know that there's a minimum allocation to be awarded for emergency financial aid grants to students in this amount. So, you know, just being transparent, people have the data.
Yes. And so, and I think Valentino, he was kind of getting to that point. Is there a rhyme or reason about how students are allocated the money? Because I know, like you was talking about how one student received 5,000, another student may receive like under $100. Like, is there a scale? Is there a like how do we know how students are supposed to receive that and how much they're supposed to receive?
I have not been able to figure out the rhyme nor the reason. Some students have had, yes, some students have had money just deposited into their account.
Right.
And other students have actually had to submit an application for the fund.
Okay. And so it's supposed to be students that are on financial aid, correct? So
Correct.
all right, cool. So pretty much our unless any of our kids are getting those full ride scholarships and things like that, well, let me rephrase that. If a student is receiving those full ride scholarships, can they still apply for that?
As long as they're considered a Title IV student,
Okay.
so they're filling out the FAFSA, even if they have a scholarship, as long as they're considered a Title IV student, they're eligible for these funds.
Okay. And
yes,
and just so that our audience know, what is the Title IV? What does that mean?
That's a great question. Title IV are students that are receiving financial aid. They're receiving Pell Grants. Pell Grants, that's our sweet spot in terms of students. That is considered a Title IV student.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm changing this because I keep receiving requests for colleges. That's why I keep typing it in. I don't see Capella University on here, so I don't know what is that? What is that? What would that mean if they didn't if they're not on this list?
Is it a private university? No, because Spelman and Morehouse are too. And they're on there. I don't know. Is it, I don't know. I'd have to dig for that. I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay. Awesome. I want to, so another thing that you had in your email, you was talking about jobs for students.
Yes.
Can you speak more about that, the jobs?
Absolutely. It came, I learned in Georgia that the Department of Public Health is hiring 1,000 contact tracers to do contact tracing. And what that is once someone has been identified as being positive with COVID, contact tracers are calling those people that they came in contact with, and they're trying to just connect the dots in terms of who person been around? Who have they seen? And who have the people that the person that tested positive, who did they see? So it's a way of health departments trying to get their arms around people that are potentially sick or could get others sick. And they're doing that through this technique called contact tracing. And so when one clicks on that link that I've provided, if you want to share that out as well, that would be great. That will lead people to the Georgia site, but then you can also search for other states. I just kind of played around with it a little bit. I saw some in I saw some jobs in California. Just choose your state, and if you don't see something on this website that talks about contact tracing, you can go to your specific state and or county and see if they have jobs for contact tracing. Because it's a thing now. Yeah, and it requires a computer and a phone.
Wow. So I'm looking at this because I know there are a few. There are a lot of students that are out, and there are a few that are contacting Empowerment, seeing if there's anything that they could do because they're like they're in need of funding because their jobs had shut down because of the lockdown. And I know how that feels, and I can only imagine how much that compounds with the fact that you didn't know that you're supposed to be receiving help from your school, and now you're stuck on a college dorm with no food and anything like that. So I can only imagine that mindset, and then how much of a grind that puts you in, or what have you. So this is another resource for young people, and actually I will copy and paste this into the chat.
Please. And so I'd like to speak directly to that as you're mentioning students being in a college dorm and what this looked like when it hit. And that first email went out, and we had a lot of response. Second email went out, we had a lot of response. And the conversations that I'm having with our scholars across the country, my husband has overheard a number of the calls, and he said, it's like that call you get when you look at your phone and you don't know the number. You usually don't pick it up. It's somebody that wants your social security number or whatever craziness of the person that's on the other end of the line. But then you come on and you're saying, I'm from NSORO, and how can I help? And I've had several students say to me, I have a lot of scholarships, and none of my scholarships have called to see if I need something.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So the work is just really important, and our students are so incredibly humble. I had a student who said, oh gosh, I don't want to ask for help again this month, but because I want to make sure I'm not taking from any of the other scholars. Can you help just a little bit? I said, we got you. We got you. And that's what I think is so amazing. These young people are thinking, oh, I don't want to ask for help. Just help a little bit, because maybe somebody needs it more than me. I mean, I don't know about you. I have self-absorbed children. I am not proud. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of this. I'm not. But I'm saying that to these young people that I've talked to, who are so just figuring it out, they are just, as I stated at the beginning, filled with grit, greatness rising in time. And to be a part of their village is just something that we really enjoy. For the last 2 months, we have deployed, maybe you could go to that graphic, that infograph. And then we'll come back to this one because I want to talk about DJ Fusion Fest before we go.
Okay. So this one was the one that you were talking about?
This is the one. Thank you. We have so far to date for the last 60 days, we have deployed $48,300 to 82 scholars across 14 states, specifically a little over 20,000 in housing and a little over 25,000 in food security. And that our initial thought was that we were going to provide this support for 90 days. So we'll just take it month by month and see what it looks like. But for us to be able to sustain students June through August, we'll need to raise another $50,000. Right. So our team is on it. We're raising money. People are definitely interested in our work and our population. And speaking of fundraising,
so I do want to point out the fact that that the role for NSORO is to make sure that kids get scholarships, not for emergency response and things like this. So this is something added on to, like, this is an extra thing that y'all did because of the pandemic, correct?
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. So the money that we raise throughout the year goes to provide post-secondary scholarships to students at 2-year or 4-year colleges or technical colleges. So that's what we raise money for, and that's what we do. We pay for scholarships. But this was this was just something our ED said, we've got to raise money. We've got to pivot. We've got to ensure that our young people aren't hungry and they aren't homeless. There was a young lady who's in California who was sleeping on a construction site because she was homeless, and he contacted us, and that's not happening anymore.
Good. Wow. Yeah.
I spoke to another young lady in California. She sent me an email. She told me she was sleeping in her car. I called her. I got that late one evening. I called her the next morning, and I told her, I said, I'm sure your car is really cute and really pretty, but you can't sleep in your car. That's not safe. That's not safe.
Yeah.
So, heck, I received an email from a young man who told me he had 4 boxes of mac and cheese and wasn't sure what to do.
Wow.
I said, we got you. We got you. So, you know, the need out there is real. And, you know, it's what do you do? Where do you turn to? One student told me, have no fear, NSORO is here. I was like, we need help.
That's gonna be your slogan for the next Starfish.
I like it. I might have to get a t-shirt and a hat. So, you know, the need is real, and you know, we have resilient young people who are just really putting things together and making it happen. And as I said, we're thrilled to be a part of their village. We're
awesome.
thrilled to be a part of their village.
Yeah.
So speaking of fundraising, we have, of course, on our website, the ability.
I think Valentino wanted to say.
Please.
No, I'm still here. I'm listening. I'm just inspired.
Okay. I thought you were trying to cut in for a quick second. I kept seeing your thing go off, so I was making sure.
I'm just learning how to use it. I'm just new to the Zoom situation, but I think I'm getting there.
Okay. And somebody on I think Joseph said that Capella University is a for-profit online university headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you for that information. I did not know.
I didn't know that either. So that's why I guess they're not receiving funds.
Okay. All right. So you before I so rudely interrupted you, you was talking about
rudely. That's all right. It wasn't rude at all. We were trying to include Valentino.
So
Valentino, do you want to chime in? I want to make sure Valentino doesn't want to say something before I go into my fundraising.
No. Okay. Since you both are asking me, I guess I'll say something. I'm just curious to learn more about your program. So I'm a product of, or a reflection, shall I say, of NSORO support. But I'm curious to know how your organization is now involved, or how this partnership is evolving.
Oh, so you're talking about for empowerment and NSORO? Oh,
Yes.
it's awesome. So empowerment, we are created of current and former foster youth. We started off as a pilot initiative that was kind of supported, funded, or what have you, through the Jim Casey Youth Opportunities Initiative out of St. Louis. We was one of 13 original sites. Then drilled it down to one of 3 original sites, and we was housed then at the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta. And so from there, we was do a lot of things on the behalf of foster youth. So things like IDA, or Opportunity Passport, where youth are able to save money and be able to match out 1-to-1 up to $1,000 3 times. Help to have Medicaid extended to 26 by working with politicians and then lawmakers and things like that. And so that's just some of the things that we're able to do that youth are able to take advantage of now. Our partnership with NSORO, gosh, I can't remember the date or time, but it just seemed like, but when we got to it, it still was already too late because we probably were supposed to have been working together. But just seeing the work that NSORO was doing on the behalf of our brothers and sisters that are in care, decided to work together and partner together to do different events. So I'm glad you said that, because I think Monica is probably gonna get on me for not mentioning that we're doing our 2nd annual summer soiree, where we're sitting down with up and coming scholars who are getting ready to go off to college or just getting ready to go out into the real world, and we're sitting them down with young people who have within the last 4 or 5 years, they're gonna have a conversation with them. Talking about their first experiences just right out of the group home or out of the foster home, whether they went to college or what have you. So I think last year it was a pretty good turnout, and this year we're looking to do more things. But NSORO, like they've been really I really enjoy their partnership and seeing all the work that they've done for our young people that are in care.
Absolutely, thank you guys. And hopefully, I have some time on my hand. We're all in quarantine, relatively locked down. But if I could even work with you guys in the future, I noticed that I'm at a phase in my life where I'm just trying to give back, pay it forward. I still have an upward trajectory to go on. I am a product of the system, and I think it's about time for me to, pay it forward and inspire other youth to be their best. So hopefully you and I, and obviously NSORO, can continue to cultivate this relationship in the future. But thank you. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Definitely. I'll make sure. I think you should have my number and my email address, but I'll make sure that we stay in contact. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Because you're getting ready to become a lawyer and hopefully down the line a judge. So I'm gonna need that get out of jail free card anyways. So.
Fair enough. I got you covered.
So I see. So yes. So I think Madison did you say the IDA account gets matched up to 3 times? Yes. So you're guaranteed that first match, and then those other 2 are as funds are available. So it's designed for those that are 14 and over and in IOP and in IOP. You go through your financial literacy training, and you get your bank account and get your seed money, which we help provide. But you have to make sure that you're taking your surveys every 6 months, and then you get paid to take your surveys anyways. So yes.
Hello.
And no, you didn't get cut off. I just stopped talking. It sounded weird.
Okay.
It sounds weird when you're not on face to face with people, so I get that.
No worries. No worries.
So, Darlene,
Fundraising.
you was going into fundraising.
Yes. So we are, we're, we're a hip nonprofit organization. Yeah, I'll say that. Yes, we're hip. We're current and we're relevant. So, the DJ parties are all the rage, right? Right
Uh-huh.
now. For anybody who's, doing the DJ thing, they're coming, from coast to coast. And we are, NSORO is having a DJ Fusion Fest. 10 Atlanta DJs for 10 hours this Saturday from 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. So every hour on the hour, there will be a new DJ spinning. And our list of DJs, I'm not sure. I don't remember if they've been posted or not, but they will be. We have some really good ones. I know that our DJs are starting to post themselves. There's DJ Ross. I know he just posted on to his people, and all of our DJs will post that they're spinning and what time they're spinning. And we're hoping that 10,000 people over the month of May will all give $10, including during our DJ Fusion Fest. And we'll raise money to continue to support our kids. So it's going to be fun. One does not have to contribute to be a part of our party. This party is truly in celebration. It's more than a fundraiser. It's really, but it just allowed me to kind of sort of segue into that. It's really a celebration of our 31 graduates of 2020. So we have 31 students across the United States who are graduating or who have graduated. They missed their graduation.
Yeah.
Some institutions did better jobs than others. But this is going to be a celebration of those 31 young people. And we hope that they're going to enjoy it and have fun. And we're going to shout them out and let them know how proud we are of them, and just excited about their opportunities because of this step in their education. So some of our students are undergraduate students, some of them are graduate students. There's one young lady I spoke to in New York who she has her master's from NYU. And so she's a graduate. I'm excited about things for her and her next steps. Actually, there is another step for her. It's actually law school she's thinking about. So just really, she graduated from Spelman and I just finished a master's at NYU, and next step will be law school for her.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
And this is going to be on your Instagram Live.
It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be across our social media platforms. You'll be able to find us on Facebook, but Facebook has a slight delay in it. So the experience it's better on Instagram Live, but we don't want anyone to feel left out. So come as you are able. Yeah. We'll be there across all of our social media platforms.
Awesome. So I want to make sure that that one, your scholars know how to get in contact with you, and so really all you do is go to the NSORO website, and so that's nsoro.foundation, and this actually be the first thing that pops up on your screen, and
yes.
Or is your when does your scholarships open, and how?
Thank you for mentioning that. So this is really our scholarship season, and we are so excited. Applications were due. We extended the application deadline to May 15th because of COVID. Um, and we have received so many applications, and we are excited about it. The applications will be read in June. I still have a couple of applications coming in. So because of COVID, there were students who weren't able to get their all of their paperwork together. But so we really, this, the season is really past. If there is an extenuating circumstance, I'd be happy to, see what that is and see how we might be able to help, because that's what we're about, is helping. And when I've been talking to these young people across the country, and they're saying, okay, I could use a little help here or a little help there, I just remind them, we're a small and mighty team. Our ability to get you an answer quickly is there. What does it take to go through? So if there's an extenuating circumstance, please you can even put my email address in the chat, and I would be happy to, see if there's something that, someone hasn't been able to get their application in for a reason. And, I know some people. I'll have my girl call, the other girl. So you can make it happen.
All right. And so for those of you who are happen to be watching, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on the Zoom chat, so this little box right here, you go up here and you hit apply.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
And I think, Valentino, were you going to say something?
Yes, I feel inspired to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm curious to know. So when you apply to become an NSORO scholar, just for other people who are in the midst of applying or are prospective students, do you just apply on one time your end until you age out, or do you have to annually apply to remain in the system?
That's a great question. You do not have to apply every year, but you do have to submit the required documents from semester to semester for funding for the next semester. So the area where it says scholarship application 2021 academic year, students go to that submit, and they must upload their transcripts, a financial aid. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm at the wrong one. This is for the scholarships. This is scholarship. Yeah, this is okay. So the current NSORO scholars, I'm sorry, if you can hit submit for that one.
Which one? For
one.
This one?
Yes, please. So if you're a current NSORO scholar, you don't have to submit the same paperwork you would submit if you were applying. You submit a financial aid verification form, transcripts, registration for the upcoming semester, and tuition for the upcoming semester, and then a short detailed letter explaining how you would like the award to be applied. So once you're a scholar until age 26 with us, which is unusual. Most scholarships don't have that age. It's usually much younger. So
Agreed.
Okay. We set ourselves apart with that age, with the upper age limit.
Yeah.
I think that's important because, I'm sorry, you're saying?
No, go ahead.
I think that's important because a lot of institutions just assume that, once you age out of foster care at 18 and you're pumped into undergrad for 4 years, they assume that you're going to be equipped with the tools and skills needed to just thrive. But NSORO is different in the sense that they continue to ensure that you are, on the right path in terms of being a contributing member of your respective community down the line. But I do appreciate that NSORO does have that the age eligibility up until the age of 26. I respect that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you.
Let's see. So just making sure y'all know how to get to this. I typed it in the chat. You don't put nsoro.foundation.com, just put nsoro.foundation. That's why I copied and pasted it. So just put it there.
Thank you.
And then there's the links to their social medias and everything. Let's see. Like this is going by pretty fast. I did not realize how much time has elapsed. But I see that there is a hand raised, and I want to make sure that I get to that. So, Miss Jessica, I am going to open you up to be able to ask your question, unless that was an accident, but it's too late now.
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey, so my question is regarding towards the NSORO Foundation. I just wanted to know, is there a limit of how many years of education a student can apply for the NSORO Foundation? So say if NSORO helped them through their undergraduate program, they have a master's already and they want to pursue another master's. Would NSORO allow that even if they're under the age of 26?
Oh, yes, as long as you are under the age of 26. Go for the education.
Man, where was
Go
I
for
at? Where were y'all at when I was leaving foster care? I needed those extra money.
it. Go for it. The young lady that I was talking about at NYU, she has an undergraduate degree. She's getting, I think, an MSW, wants to be a lawyer. And then, yes, and then eventually she wants to be a judge. So she's still young enough where we will be able to help her for law school.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Where do I send my information so I can get a shout out for me graduating? Because I don't think I got the info.
What? I know, right?
I want my shout out like you. This is like
Who is
some
this?
And so I know Jessica. Jessica is like a hard worker, like traveling from the top of the state to her school down to the bottom of the state, whenever she had to go to class and everything, working and everything. Like shout outs to Jessica. Like she is a hard worker and working with young people in care. Like she's amazing. The only thing I don't like is that she has a small dog. We need big dogs around here.
Small dogs lives matter, okay?
Congratulations, Jessica.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you. We might have to get together and do another online graduation like that. We may have to do that. But we're running up, coming up on time. I do have to mention that you should have, for some of you, you should have already received an email, because next month's webinar we're talking with a doctor, and he's going to go over some of the different medications that our young people are taking while they're in care, and he just wants to know the name of the medication that you have questions about. He's going to give just a professional opinion on who's supposed to be taking this, why they're supposed to be taking this, what are the side effects, and things like that. Not going to go into the politics of the medication, just sticking to just the facts. So I know we're not going to get on any soapbox about medications. That's a whole different segment that we may do on a different podcast. But in the newsletter that we send out, there's going to be a spot for you to register for the webinar, as well as there's going to be a survey that you can take to fill out like any medications that you're taking or that a young person is taking and you have like some questions about and that you don't know anything about. So please fill out that survey, and we're going to try and get that information to the doctor so that he can research it and do whatever magic he needs to do to be able to bring you some answers for the webinar, which is held every third Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30. Darlene, I see he had left us. Darlene, Monica, do y'all have anything to say before we sign off?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity to talk about NSORO, the work that we're doing in support of our scholars across the country, our young people, resources that we've been able to share with them, what the work looks like, how excited we are for the positivity that our students have. And it's such a difficult time. And I'm just always amazed at how positive these kids are when I talk to them. It's just, it's amazing. So we have amazing students, and thank you for letting me share that with you and with everyone out there who's participating in this. And we hope that you all will come and celebrate our 2020 graduates at our DJ Fusion Fest this Saturday, 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. Pick a minute, pick a time, pick an hour, pick, whatever works for you. And thank you for sharing all this information.
Oh no, thank you. You taught me so much. So I know that when kids ask me about funding and things like that, I know there's a few things that I send them to. That's the auntbertha.com that AmeriGroup suggested, as well as if their students say, hey, talk to your financial aid and specifically say the federal emergency, blah 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 blah, and then go to this site so you can see how much money they receive. And so you can bring that to them as well. So thank you for that.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure.
All right, well, at this point in time, it is time for us to log off and go back to doing our other works. Be on the lookout. We may do, for those of you who are gamers, we might do a stream tomorrow with some of our team. If you don't know, we have our own Discord. So that you can join us and meet other gamers who just like to have fun during this time. So other than that, thank you all for joining. We really appreciate it, NSORO, and we really appreciate our audience. So have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.